I always wondered about Uncle Ben. Everyone in the family did. He was a ghost story before he was even gone, a quiet man who kept to himself. But some questions, once you find the answer, can completely shatter your world. Because you learn that some secrets, some are much, much better left buried. It all started during a sweltering summer when my grandmother finally decided to clear out her old attic. It was a time capsule of accumulated memories, thick dust, and forgotten lives. My job was to sift through a big, old trunk filled with my grandfather's war memorabilia and a collection of forgotten journals. And that's where I found it. Tucked beneath a stack of faded photographs, hidden under a worn, leather-bound diary, was a simple cream-colored envelope, brittle with age. There was no stamp, no address, just a single name, scrawled in a shaky hand. Ben. My heart just stopped. Ben, Uncle Ben. He vanished in 1983. Just gone, without a trace. It was a mystery that haunted our family for decades, a silent wound that never really healed. Could this actually be from him? After all these years? My fingers were trembling as I carefully broke the seal, the old paper crackling softly under my touch. The date written at the top sent a cold chill right down my spine. October 27th, 1983. That was just days before he was officially reported missing. The letter began innocently enough. It seemed like a casual update to a friend, or at least that's how it started. But then, the entire tone shifted. He started describing a feeling, a persistent, gnawing unease in his new cabin out by Blackwood Creek. He wrote about whispers in the walls. They were faint at first, he said, but they grew louder, like distant conversations you could hear, but not quite understand. He mentioned cold spots appearing out of nowhere, objects moving on their own. Just small, unsettling things that began to completely erode his peace of mind. Then, his writing became frantic. The words started sprawling across the page, almost impossible to read. He described one night, a night where the whispers turned into distinct, guttural sounds, as if something was breathing right outside his window. He wrote about the cabin growing impossibly cold, the air becoming thick with this oppressive, heavy presence. He saw shadows moving in the corner of his eye, tall, elongated figures that seemed to watch him from the edge of the woods, but they would disappear whenever he turned to face them directly. But it was one entry, scrawled on a separate loose sheet of paper, tucked into the main letter, that was the most chilling. It read, "It came inside last night." He wrote, "I woke up to a weight on my chest, a cold, skeletal hand pressed over my mouth. I couldn't scream. I couldn't even move. Its eyes, oh God, its eyes were just pools of ancient darkness, staring right into my very soul." He said it didn't speak with a voice, but with a feeling, a thought that was implanted directly into his mind. The thought was, "You're next. And I know where your family sleeps." The ink on the page was smudged, as if his hand had been shaking violently. Or maybe his tears had blurred the words. The very last line was just a broken sentence, trailing off the page. It just said, "It wants me. It wants." I dropped the letter. The aged paper scattered across the dusty attic floor. Suddenly, the quiet of that attic felt deafening. Uncle Ben didn't just disappear. He was taken. And whatever took him knew about us. My hands were shaking so hard, I could barely pick up the scattered pages. The mystery of Uncle Ben wasn't a family tragedy. It was a warning. A chilling, decades-old warning that was meant for me to find. The police had searched that cabin back in '83. They found nothing but an empty shell, a few scattered belongings left behind. They dismissed the whole thing as a runaway case, a man just looking to start a new life somewhere else. But this letter, this was the unvarnished truth. The one piece of evidence they never found. the one they never even knew to look for. And now, every creak in my own old house, every whisper of wind outside my window, makes my blood run cold. I look at my family differently now, with this gnawing, terrible fear that somewhere, out there, the same thing that haunted Uncle Ben, the same thing that left that cryptic, horrifying message, is still waiting, still watching. Is it still out there? Does it still remember that promise it whispered to Ben all those years ago? Have you ever felt like you weren't truly alone in your own home, even when every door was locked and every light was on? Let me know your own strange experiences in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to hear more stories like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Stay safe out there.